Before we start with this video, I just want to give a quick disclaimer. I'm going to look a little bit weird in this video because I have severe dry lip, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Whenever I smile, my lip goes up like that, and some days it looks like I have Botox, some days it just looks really, really weird, and today is one of those days, and it's just really dry. I've been trying to do everything that the doctor told me to do, which is like put some Vaseline on it, use Blistex, all this stuff, and it's been 2 months and nothing has worked. So I kind of give up at this point. No, I'm just waiting till it heals. But anyways, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today, guys, we're going to be doing a full face using drugstore / affordable products, and I'm super excited. So most of these products I have already used, and the one product I'm going to be talking about the most is, one second, the On the Edge palette by Lurella Cosmetics. Now, I want to talk about this palette because I have actually never really heard of anyone speak about it, and I was really intrigued when I saw the ad on Instagram talking about it. So pretty much what it is a palette with 36 different shades. This is what it looks like on the back. I believe it was only $24.99 Canadian dollars. The only thing about it was the shipping was a little bit more expensive. But besides that, I thought this was like the perfect affordable palette if you're trying to get like different looks, and you can definitely do that with this palette. So we're going to talk more in depth about this later into the video, but first, let's get started. Make sure to subscribe, like the video if you do like this video, comment down below what you want to see me do next, and let's roll on to the video. So right now I'm sitting on my guest room floor because I thought I would like to switch up the background a bit just to see what I like. As you can see, I already did my brows, and the brow product that I use was from NYX. It is the Microbrow pencil in the shade Espresso, so that's it right there. And it's one of my favorite drugstore products because it does the trick. I've tried a lot of drugstore eyebrow pencils, and honestly, some of them are just way too creamy, some of them are just way too stiff, they dry out fast, and this one is just perfect. So far, I love this one, and I think that the shade is pretty nice. So those are my brows. After brows, I'm going to move on to primer. Oh wait, no, I'm gonna move on to moisturizer because I haven't yet moisturized my face. So the moisturizer that I'm gonna be using today is the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Gel Hype. That's French, oh my gosh. The moisturizer I'm going to be using today is the Kiehl's Ultra Facial Oil Free Gel Cream, and it is for normal to oily skin types, and this is it right here. We had so many snowstorms in the last few days, last few weeks, and it's just absolutely insane. My mom's car got stuck in a driveway yesterday, and I've just been loving the snow. Just been loving it. So the thing I like to do next after moisturizer is I'll use primer. And now that I don't have a primer from the drugstore, because I honestly couldn't find one. If you guys know of any drugstore or affordable primers, please let me know in the comments below. But honestly, the only primer I've been using for like the last few years is my trusty Porefessional primer by Benefit, and that's the one I'm going to be using today because I just love it. It's amazing. It does the trick. And I feel like primer is one of those things that you kind of have to like splurge on because it lasts honestly so much longer than any other product that I have, or maybe that's just me, but I only use a little dime size amount, and then I just rub it over my face. But yeah, the Porefessional by Benefit has just been a trusty primer, and I buy it like every few months, and it just does the trick. It's a nice base for the foundation to stick onto. So next, after I do primer, I am going to jump right into foundation, and I'm going to be using the shade Sun Beige and Light Beige because one is too dark and one is too light, so I'm just going to mix them in together to get my perfect shade. And because this one is almost done, I'm going to have to open this up and put it on the back of my hand, because it literally is almost finished. So I'm just gonna put that on the back of my hand like that. And then I'm gonna squirt a little bit of this one right on top of it. Just like that. And I like to mix it with my finger. and apply it to my face. Alright, so after I applied the foundation to my face, I'm going to take my favorite foundation brush of all time. This is the Morphe M439 brush. It looks like this. It's just like a really big brush like that, and it's so dense and so tightly packed that it puts the foundation on so smoothly. I just absolutely love this brush. So I'm just gonna, first I like to like tap it into my face, and then I'll like buff it in as well. Just like that. Oh, I forgot to apply, oh my gosh. Here I am talking about how dry my lips are, and I forgot to apply lip balm. I'm gonna be using the Blistex Deep Moisture Renewal Lip Balm. I literally can't even feel my lips right now. Alright, so the concealer I'm going to be using today is the new Morphe Fluidity Concealer, and this is it right here. Now, I think I definitely purchased the wrong shade, because looking at it, it looks way too fair for my skin tone. Like, I usually like a really light concealer for my under eye and like my highlighted areas, but this just seems like way too light. So we're gonna try it on, and if not, then I'm gonna add in a darker concealer to kind of balance it out a bit. So what I like to do with my concealer is, oh my gosh, I've never tried this before, so I'm so excited to see how the coverage is. So I'm just gonna put this under my eye like a triangle. Oh my gosh, wow, this is really full coverage. Whoa. Whoa, that's really light. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to mix in a darker concealer after. So I'm just going to do a little triangle under my eye, a little bit on my chin. Just like, I like to do like a half moon under my chin. I don't know why. I saw someone do this on Instagram and I fell in love with that little trick. I like to go a little bit down my nose. Oh my gosh. I hope this doesn't look too crazy. And on my forehead, I do like this little upside down triangle thing. And then I'll use a tiny little bit on the sides of my lips like that. And then just up top like that. Okay, I'm gonna mix in a little bit of my Fit Me Concealer by Maybelline. And this is in the shade 25 Medium. I'm just gonna put a tiny little bit just on top, just so it's not too light. And hopefully that balances it out. So sometimes I like to use a beauty blender to blend this out, but today I'm just going to use the same Morphe brush that I use for my foundation. So I like to do this sometimes as well. I just like to tap it in, and then I'll blend it up like this. Oh my gosh, the coverage is out of this world. I'm gonna go a little bit on top of my eye as well. Are you seeing this? Look how smooth my under eye looks compared to a little bit under here. That looks amazing. Okay, I think I'm already in love with this concealer. I'm gonna have to go buy a darker shade. Okay, so far, I'm loving how my skin looks. I'm loving. Okay, so we're gonna move on to setting powder. So this one for me was actually kind of hard because all of my favorite setting powders are high-end. Like, I love the Cover FX, I love the Laura Mercier, but I heard about a few YouTubers talking about this powder, so I went to go try it out, and it is the Fit Me Maybelline powder. This is in the shade Fair Light. I actually bought two different shades. This one was like the perfect shade because it's not too light and not too dark, so it's perfect for highlighting. And I gave this a try, and I actually really like this powder. Like, it's so close to a high-end powder. So what I like to do with this powder is I just put a little bit, actually that's a lie, I put a lot of it into the lid, and then I'll take a beauty blender, and I like to actually use a dry beauty blender. So this is the beauty blender from, sorry, I keep saying beauty blender, I mean a beauty sponge. This is a beauty sponge from Lurella Cosmetics. I actually got this with the same palette that I'm going to be using today, so I'm going to try this out. So I'll dip this in to the back, and then I'll apply underneath my eye. I'm just going to bake the under eye pretty much. Ooh, I put a lot, but I usually put a lot and then I'll just dust it off after I'm done my eyes. So I explained this on my last video. I like to really bake under my eyes so that it catches any of the fallout from any of the eyeshadow. Once I'm done doing the top of my eyeshadow, I will wipe it away and all that eyeshadow that might have fallen will just come right off. So pretty much I'm just gonna bake anywhere that I applied the concealer. I'm gonna look crazy. This is the part where I just look absolutely insane because I probably put way too much powder, but this is just how I've always done it. Oh my god, I look crazy. Don't worry, I promise you it will look a lot better. So now that I look absolutely insane, we're going to move on to the eyes, which I'm so excited about. So I'm gonna zoom you in a little bit closer. Ooh, close and personal. So for first things first, I would like to talk about my contacts that I'm wearing today. I think contacts are just so much fun to use. It's not that I'm trying to change my identity. I just want to try something different for once. And you know, I've had brown eyes my whole life and I love my brown eyes, but sometimes it's fun just to switch it up. It's not that I'm trying to be anyone else but myself. It's just fun to switch it up a bit. So just a little disclaimer if anyone asks why I wear contact lenses. And also, don't ever care what anyone thinks about you. If you want to wear contact lenses, do it. Honestly. Okay, so before any eye look, I'm going to prime my lids. So you could actually use a eyeshadow primer, but I personally like to use a concealer because I feel like it does the exact same thing as an eyeshadow primer. I don't know, you can yell at me in the comments about that, but I honestly think that it does. So I'm gonna use that same concealer. I hope that this does the trick. And I'm just gonna apply this whole concealer all over my lid, and then what I like to do is I just blend it with my fingers. So for anyone wondering why people use eyeshadow primers or concealers on their lid, pretty much what it's going to do is the eyeshadow is going to stick to that base that you put on before you put on the eyeshadow. So it will make the shadow pop, it will make it last longer, and it will just make it look, you know, all together. Everything will just smooth out better. At least that's what I think it does. Okay, so I think that concealer somewhat did the job. Okay, so moving on to the palette. I'm gonna zoom you out a little bit. So we're going to be using the Lurella On The Edge palette. Oh my gosh, look how pretty it is. So these are all of the shades that come in the palette. And these are all the ingredients on the bottom. And it comes in a little sleeve like this. So I just took it out of this sleeve. And voila! These are all the beautiful shades in this palette. And on top of there, it just is On The Edge. And it's just, oh guys, this palette, when I saw it, I actually first saw it on a Instagram ad and I just automatically fell in love, so I had to buy it. So we're gonna be playing with this today and I'm super excited. So the pigmentation is just out of this world. I'm actually gonna just do a few swatches for you so you can see. It's really smooth, really creamy. Let me do like a shade like this. As you can see, we'll do like this blue here. Oh my god, look how pretty. Let's do one more. Let's do this green here. That's me hardly even touching it. What I noticed about these eyeshadows is that they do have a little bit of kickback to them, but that's pretty normal for a lot of eyeshadows, so it doesn't really bother me, to be honest. Alright, so the first shade we're going to be using is this beautiful, like, I don't even know how to describe this, like a caramel color. I don't even know, but it's so pretty. I'm gonna be taking my JH30 brush and I'm just gonna dip into there, just like so. I'm gonna tap off the excess and I'm gonna apply this to the upper crease of the eye, just like so. Alright, so the next shade I'm going to be using is Salvation, which is like pukey green color. And I'm just going to be taking my JH32 brush. A lot of my brushes are from the Jaclyn Hill collection, by the way, because they're just so, they're so perfect. I love these eyeshadow brushes so much. So I'm going to be taking this into the crease here, just on the outer, focusing it on the outer part of my eye. Look how pigmented these shades are. I'm in love. Okay, now taking pretty much the same brush, but this is the M441. It's pretty much like the same sort of shape as the brush. I believe that Jump and Hill used like the same sort of shape, just named it a different thing. But anyways, it's pretty much the same shape. It's a blending brush, so I'm gonna use the shade Forest, and I'm gonna be just focusing on the outer crease of my eye. I'm kind of scared to use this color because it just looks so different from anything I would ever use. So I'm just gonna focus this here. Oh god, there's no turning back now. I'm gonna take that same forest color and I'm going to just put this on the outer corner of my eye. And then I'm just gonna stamp it down really lightly like this. Looks a little bit crazy right now, but I promise you it's gonna look a lot better later. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking my JH40 brush, and it's like this tiny little dense brush. And I'm going to be taking the shade Jet, which is this like rich black shade. I'll show you right there. There we go. And I'm just going to be taking it very lightly, and I'm going to dust off the excess. And we're going to put this right in the corner of my eye. On the outer V right here. Just make sure you take your time with this and really focus it on the outer edge. Like so. Okay, so next I'm going to be taking the shade Twitch, and it's like this old vintagey like gold shade. I don't really know how to explain it, but anyways, that's it right here. I'm gonna be using my finger. I'm gonna be applying this all over the lid. To make this a little bit more intense, I'm going to be taking the same shade and I'm going to be using a flat brush. This is the JH41 brush, and I'm going to be using a little bit of Fix Plus and spraying it like this. And then we're gonna go right over that. So what I like to do, as you're gonna notice right now, it looks kind of undone, but what I'm gonna do after, which I always like to do, is I like to go in with all those other shades and kind of like deepen it up and kind of fix up the places where it needs more color. So that's a little trick, just in case it doesn't look the way that you want it to at first. You can always clean it up and fix it after. And I'm gonna go back over all those other shades that I used before. Okay, so far this is the look. Arty Beauty is one of my favorites lash companies, and because they make such great lashes and they're so cheap. So as you can see, it's on sale for $5.99, and they're usually like really cheap like this, and they have so many different styles and so many different, yeah, just styles. And their 3D silk lash, which I don't really know what that means, but Anyways, they're really fluffy and they look like mink lashes and they're just so beautiful. So I'm gonna be putting these on off camera and I'll be right back. So as you can see, this is what the eye look looks like right now. You might be able to see a little bit of lash glue because it's still drying, but what I did is I just applied the lashes and then I went in with some mascara. I used the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna take any big like powder brush and I'm just gonna wipe away the big. Okay, so before we move on to the rest of my eyes, we are going to do the rest of my face and then we'll move on to the eyes. So now we're going to be contouring my face and I like to use a powder contour. I never usually do like cream or liquid contouring. So the bronzer or contour powder that I'm going to be using today is the Maybelline City Bronzer. This is a bronzer and contour powder. And honestly, I didn't even know that they made this. When I saw this, I was like, I fell in love because the color, just looking at it, the color looks absolutely amazing. It kind of reminds me of the Give Me Sun Mineralized Skin Finish by MAC. So I had to pick this up. This is the darkest shade that they had and I am obsessed so far. So usually for my contour, I like to use a big fluffy fan brush like this. I believe this one is from BH Cosmetics and I've just been in love with it because it gives the most perfect defined contour. So what I'll usually do, well, I still have powder I have to wipe off, but what I'll usually do is I'll contour with this and then I'll go in with like a more fluffy powder brush to bronze up my face. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip in here, tap off the excess, and then we're going to contour. So sometimes I like to go pretty heavy-handed with my contour, and then what I'll do after is just get like a big brush and just kind of like, if it's too heavy, I'll just kind of soften it a bit with the powder brush. And honestly, this brush right here is like the fastest and easiest way to contour because it already has that like sharp shape, and I love this brush so much. I'm gonna do my neckline like this too to hide that double chin. Okay, and then I'm going to be going in with a more bigger, fluffier powder brush, and this is my favorite powder brush. This is by Morphe and it's the M527 and it has like this like kind of flat shape, but it's like, it's so perfect. So I'm going to dip into the powder and I'm just going to be bronzing with this, but I'm going to lightly tap because this bronzer is very pigmented. And because I don't normally wear blush, I'm just going to kind of put it on my cheeks as well to kind of act as a blush. And I just feel like it kind of slims the face a little bit more. And what I like to do for my nose is I'll kind of like squeeze the top of this and just go on the sides of my nose. But very lightly, I'll just contour, hardly. It's very rare that I contour my nose, honestly. That's all I do. Okay, so I'm gonna go with that same powder brush and I'm just kind of wipe away some of that excess powder that I had and then go over the contour a little bit to soften it up. So next we are going to do highlight, which is my favorite part, and we are going to be highlighting with a product that I've never heard anyone talk about, but I've been using this product for like 2 to 3 years now and I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite highlighting products to use, and it's actually not supposed to be used as a highlighter, but I use it as a highlighter anyways. It's supposed to be an eyeshadow and it's by the brand Essence, and they sell it, if you live in Canada, at Shoppers Drug Mart, and it looks a little bit beat up because this is pretty much all I ever use, but this is it right here. Let me wait till it zooms in. Focuses. So that's it right here. And guys, I love these two shades. Like, they're so creamy, so pigmented, and I just never ever hear anyone talk about this, and I'm so shocked because it was so cheap. I think it was like $4.99. So this shade right here is like my favorite that I use. So it's like a champagne-y, like a really light champagne color. And then beside it is like a bronzy color, but it still works as a highlight. And I usually mix them two together and they're so pretty. And then you have like the darker shade right here that you could use as well, but it's a little bit too dark for my liking. But if you were a little bit darker, it would work as a highlight as well. It's just all so pretty, and there's so many different colors that you can use. Okay, so going in with my Morphe M509 highlighting brush, I'm going to be taking those two shades. I'm going to mix them together like this, just back and forth, tap off the excess. And we're gonna work this onto the high points of the cheeks. So lately I haven't been really into like a crazy blinding highlight, so I kind of just use it like a little bit and then put some highlight on my nose. I usually like the focal point to be like the front of my face instead of the sides, so I'm going to be using like a flat brush and I'm going to be dipping into both of those shades again, tapping off the excess. I'm going to be highlighting my nose. Some on my upper lip, and then we're going to be highlighting the inner corner in just a second. Okay, so now that the rest of the face is done, we're going to do the rest of the eyes, and then we're going to do lips, and that will be it. All right, so I'm going to be taking the shade Forest again, and I'm going to be using the Kylie Jenner blending brush. I don't know what it's called, but it's a blending brush, and it's one of my favorites to use on the lower lash line. So I'm going to take the shade Forest, and we're going to blend out that lower lash line. So starting from the outer corner, and really bringing it in. Focus. So I really like a really blown out lower lash line. That's why I like to use like a blending brush like this. And then we'll just kind of bring it in. So now I'm going to be taking like a small little dome brush like this, and I'm going to be taking the shade Free Falling right here. It's like a very dark green shade, and I'm going to be kind of blending this close to the lash line. Alright, so now I'm going to apply some lower lash mascara, and I'm going to be using the same mascara. Kind of in love with this look so far. That's it so far. Okay, so normally what I would just do is just put like a highlighter in the inner tear duct of my eye, but we are not going to go for normal today. We are going to do something a little bit more intense, a little bit more crazy, something that I've seen trending a little bit, which is like a pop of color on the inner eye. And I've never done this before, guys, so please pray for me, because I'm kind of nervous and scared to do this part because I don't want to mess it up. But we are going to be using the shade, you guessed it, Beehive, and this is the yellow shade right there. I'm nervous, but I'm kind of excited. So I cleaned this brush off. I'm going to be taking the JH41 brush. It's just like this flat brush right here, and I'm going to be dipping into Beehive. And we're going to be putting this into the inner tear duct. Pray for me. This shade is so pigmented. Like that. And then I'm gonna go in with that same highlight shade that I used in my that I used to highlight my face, and I'm just gonna use this light one right here. I'm going to use like a little JH42 brush, and I'm going to go just on the center of that inner tear duct. very lightly. We're just gonna kind of pop this color a little bit. Like so. Actually didn't turn out too bad. I'm kind of obsessed. So this is the look so far. We're pretty much done now. We're just gonna move on to lips and that will pretty much be it. So I'm gonna be using the Maybelline Truffle Tease lipstick. And it's like just like a nude. And it's like a satin formula and I'm just gonna go all over my lips. Like so. I love this lip color, it's so nice. And then for the final, second final product, we're going to be using the Colourpop lip gloss in Moonchild. Ooh, I love this gloss so much, guys, you have no idea. It's like the perfect nude. I don't know what else to explain it. Ooh, I have something in my eye. And I'm just gonna apply it pretty much on the center of my lip. Like that. And to finish this look off, we're going to be using some setting spray. So the setting spray I'm going to be using is unfortunately not affordable or drugstore, but it is by MAC and it's the Fix Plus. And I feel like everyone has a setting spray because how amazing it is. And I don't know of any really good affordable / drugstore setting sprays. So if you know of any, please let me know in the comments section down below. I would love to go out and try it. I'm going to be using some setting spray and this is the Rose Fix Plus and I'm just going to be spraying my whole face and that will be it. And I usually like to grab something and just kind of dry my face. I'm going to be using the sleeve of that palette. And that is it for this look. I hope you guys loved this video. Please, if you did, make sure to like this video. Just hit the like button down below. It's a thumbs up button like this. And subscribe to my channel. And comment what you liked about this video and what you want to see me do next. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.